You know what's going down in the Bay. It's the Niner Empire, yeah, we came to play.
Man, man, man. Man, man,
Let's
man.
get it.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Hey, let's get this thing, man. My name is Akeem, and this is definitely 49ers Empire, and my co-host is...
This is Blair Coates talking to you. How you doing, 49ers Empire? Let's get into it.
Man, it's a big week, man. Saints week. I remember last year, man, how special this was to us, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. I'm just not confident going into this week, man. It's for a lot of. It's only because of our injuries. If we was healthy, man, we're destroying the Saints. Do I believe we can beat them? We got a lot of guys coming back, so we got opportunity, but we have to play an A+ game, and that could happen. That could happen.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk about this last game. I mean, we can. We can talk about Green Bay and what happened in that game, man. But I'm more at a point right now, man. I try to. That's a distant memory, man.
I mean, anybody that's been watching the 49ers understands that this team has been plagued by injuries. And so the Green Bay game, I mean, and what's kind of crazy about that game is the players that were out were due to COVID protocol, and the story ends up that none of them had it. And so we lost out on we lost out on the opportunity. The story, and I might not have my sources right, but the story says that they actually did not have COVID.
Yeah, they didn't, but then they put Kendrick Bourne back on today or something like that, or yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm hearing later Kendrick Bourne, maybe a negative test or whatnot, but at the time of that Green Bay game, those players didn't actually have it, and we still couldn't play with those guys, and so that's kind of strange on the NFL's part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the NFL ever liked us, but I'm a conspiracy guy, but just looking at that going into the game, and that Richie James impressed me, man. I will say Richie James went ahead and snatched Kendrick Bourne's third position. And the reason why I say that, and I like Kendrick as a slot guy because of his size. But man, this guy explosive, man. And he said he was 95%. Like, I know he was our number one target. They knew he was our number one target. They still couldn't stop him. He was the leading receiver for the week. Richie James,
bring this up.
Go get him.
Because I actually was going to ask you about that, and you took it even a step further. I was going to say, with Trent, okay, so with Trent Taylor, it is obvious that
I'm done with Trent Taylor.
We have to give all of Trent Taylor's snaps to Richie James Jr. So that's what I was going to say. But now you've even brought up an even bigger scenario for the 49ers. So now because you can't sit this guy on the bench knowing what he's capable of. And looking at Kendrick Bourne, I mean, Kendrick Bourne, he's a phenomenal third option, really great at the third option. But seeing what Richie James just did, it's going to be hard to sit him down.
And the thing is too is we got him in a position where this forces us to expand our offense with that guy. Because we obviously know why Nick Mullins was comfortable with him, because he's a 4-string guy, and 4-string guys normally play with backup quarterbacks. And they normally get reps inside of practice. So he's used to Richie James and with Richie James, coming out of his breaks and all that. But I think Richie James looked really, really good, and I think that he deserves Kendrick Bourne's spot. I think he may have damn near out, catches and yards for Kendrick Bourne on the season. I think he got it in one game. And Trent Taylor is, bro, he's my new Dante Pettis. So he needs to go away. He's good thing he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that a little bit. Let's go into our roster a little bit, man. Let's talk about, I wanted to talk about and get your views on, give me like your top 5 best players on the football team.
Okay, and
It don't
so
matter. It don't even matter the order. You can order
there
them,
you
but it
go.
don't matter.
Okay. Fred Warner, George Kittle, obviously, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, and I'm going to say Raheem Mostert. And when I think of the best players, I'm thinking contribution and uh, being able to do more than what your position calls for.
Mm.
I think good
Give me your
players.
five again.
So I have Fred Warner, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, and Raheem Mostert.
Okay.
And I think what those players are asked to do, they're phenomenal, and they're all playing at a high level when not injured. We already know what George Kittle can do. What we see in the beginning of this season from Raheem Mostert is, I
He's
mean, that
hot.
is top five. That's top five back stuff
Yeah,
right there.
he's
And
hot.
so when I see his athletic ability and what I know Kyle Shanahan can do, oh yeah, this guy is phenomenal athlete, high contributing player on the 49ers. What do you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go George Kittle, of course. I'm gonna go Nick Bosa, and then I'm gonna go Debo Samuel. I like Debo Samuel a lot, and I think he brings a different dynamics to our offense. I'm gonna go Fred Warner and Trent Williams.
Mhm.
I think those five are our best players that we don't need to upgrade that position. I think we got two good, really good wide receivers. We have the best tight end in football. We have one of the best tackles in football. And for what they're saying is he's the best top two tackle in football right now. Trent, even though he had some mishaps, but
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus is saying he's pretty much the highest rated tackle right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we're good with that. Then our running backs, we have running backs for days. We need a new
Yeah.
center. We need maybe a right guard, and then we need I don't know. I like Brunskill. Um, that right tackle, man, Mike McGlinchey. I think he's
Oh man.
he's something. But I do
Yeah.
think that those guys, and I think Richard Sherman is six. I think if I had to
Okay.
pick another guy, it would be Richard Sherman. And then Mostert. I just think Richard Sherman's such an impact, and we're really going to see it when Richard Sherman's out there. He is a leader of the defense, and I like Fred. Fred is the captain, but I think the leader of the defense is definitely Sherman. He's not old.
Yeah.
He's not old Sherman, but he ain't far from it. He gave us a Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah.
So what do you think going into this off season are some of the things we're going to need to improve?
Man, you got to find your replacement for D Ford. You got to go on the edge. I'm one of those type of 49er fans that I wish that the 49ers do something outside of character and draft a quarterback high. I know that's not going to happen, but I can have my aspirations in life. But I really think you need to address the edge. Like you said, Arik Armstead is going to have to move back inside. You have nothing coming on the other opposite end of Nick Bosa. You already know we have a lot of trouble on the defensive back end. I just don't have any faith in Jimmy Ward. I have little faith in Jaquaski Tart, and I think you need to go after a corner. I think you need to get a big corner that can match up with what we're seeing in the DK Metcalfs and what we're seeing in the Hopkins. Players like that, we're going to need someone down the line that can stop that. And so right now, the 49ers just don't particularly have that answer. We'll see what Richard Sherman can do. Like I said last season, I seen Richard Sherman a few times against players like that, and he holds his own. But there are often times where Richard Sherman is on the ground, or so I think Father Time catches up with all of us, and we need to address the cornerback position if we're looking to be successful in the future.
And I was thinking that too, man. That position, to me, should be maybe one or two picks. I wouldn't mind if we went DN first, but if we got again, yeah, if we got him again, or I don't want to say hopefully, but I believe that D Ford is going to retire. I don't.
Mm,
I think it's when you're neck and back, and it's just too much for him. I
yeah.
think they're going. I think they'll negotiate something and buy him out of here, retire. And that way, it'll free up some cap. But we'll also be able to draft someone either first round or second round, either a corner or a end. And I wouldn't mind a really, really good guard too. Like if we can get one of the
Oh
best
yeah.
guards, that would be sensational. if we can get
Yeah.
if we can get a good guard, and then a strong safety. If we can get a strong safety in there too, because I don't think we're gonna bring Jakarski back. Because
Nope.
I don't think we should. Marcel Harris got cooked by the way this week. Um, just let the go route go right up over top of him. Just too
Yeah.
aggressive.
Coverage is not his thing.
Yeah, he's an in the box player. But we need a guy that can do both. But I will say Jamal Adams is like 30. I seen it out of 32 safeties,
Mm.
he's graded 28th or something right now.
Yeah, and I was
Not
gonna
looking,
say,
not looking good right now.
he's been injured.
Mm-hmm.
He had impact
Mm-hmm.
in a few games, but not everything has been decided on his play, and so I don't
How
know.
about how,
Niners might have been smart on that.
how about let's roll into Jimmy G. Let's roll into Jimmy G and let's talk about Jimmy G as a football player. Um, Going to next year. I believe that he's going to go on. So let's assume that he goes on. Do you believe we should trade for a quarterback, or you believe we should draft, or do both? And if you do think we should trade for one, who do you think it should be?
So I don't think you should trade for a quarterback if you're the 49ers. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo should play next season, but I do think you go into this draft and you draft a quarterback, and you don't draft a quarterback late. You draft a quarterback high to let your QB1 know that the time is coming for you to produce because there's a youngster waiting to take your seat. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, he has been injured. Okay. I will give him that. I seen him try to come back against the Jets. He looked a lot better than he did the previous week. I've seen progress. I just haven't seen that star-studded QB1 style play that's going to get the job done. I look at this draft. I mean, you can read the names: Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, BYU. There's some guys in this draft that if you are a GM and you're an offensive minded coach and you
Mm-hmm.
pass on any of those guys, it's hard for us to understand what your ideology is for the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard because right now we have a sitting statue, an injured sitting statue, when the draft presents opportunity for you to get some guys that can give you a chance to win those games. I think you have to let Jimmy G play next season. Why? He knows the offense. A lot of people want to bring in Aaron Rodgers. I seen an idiot tweet something about Joe Flacco. Why? You have the guy that already knows the offense. He wants to prove that he can do the job. Go ahead and bring a rookie in, light a fire under his behind, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not. I do believe we should trade for a quarterback. If we plan on drafting one in like the fourth round, I think we should do both. I think we should draft one in like the fourth round, but I also think that we should trade maybe our second or third round, probably third round. If we can get our third round to Detroit Lions for Matt Stafford,
Mm,
or because Matt Stafford's done out there, or you know Matt Ryan. Um, I think Matt Ryan would be like a fourth round. But
mm.
Stafford's definitely a third, and then or Sam Donald. I like Sam Donald.
You
He's he's
do?
he's not he's not he's not slow. He just has a terrible team around him. He still puts up numbers. I think
Yeah.
he would work really good with Kyle Shanahan because he's a little mobile. He's not a stiff. Um, and he says he has a cannon arm. He has a cannon, and he's very accurate. So I
See,
just
I see Sam Darnold. I don't think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think Sam Darnold is.
I don't. I think Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't finish no season in New York, and I think at least this guy is competing. You can tell he's not
Mhm.
afraid, and he plays so extremely hard. I have lost all faith in Jimmy G, man.
I
I
know.
tell you, man. I I was one of those guys who protected him for the last couple years. But I really just started looking at tape.
Yeah.
The tape doesn't lie, man. And I know they're blaming it on his ankle, but I think it's more between his ears than it is his physical attributes. We had on our last show, we gave him a grade of a 1.80. That's like
Yeah.
right below average.
Yes.
We cannot keep a quarterback another year that we believe is below average.
But there might be variables to that. I really do believe because when he wasn't injured, I mean, he was at least getting the ball in receivers' hands. Like the ball is, I mean, the ball's always been a sloppy, floppy type of pass.
Matt
But
Ryan
now
knows
it's
the
not,
offense
it's
too.
not going anywhere.
Matt Ryan knows the offense.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see.
And if you look at the
how they
Atlanta
move on
Falcons,
that.
come on, you see the Atlanta Falcons, they're a terrible football team, right? But who do you know is always balling? Matt
Matt.
Ryan.
He's
throwing
for
it,
400.
He's
He's good for 4.
throwing it around, bro. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is give us 2 years of Matt Ryan. We developed this backup quarterback. Then we transition him in. At least these next 2 seasons will be real winning, and we'll push for who we have. Man, we got this right before Nick Bosa's big contract, so you got to know we got to get a quarterback in next year. You got to remember Fred Warner's contract, Nick Bosa's contract, that's going to hobble us. So we have to kind of almost win next year. So we can't keep Jimmy for another year. We keep Jimmy, we got to go to the Super Bowl and win it, because if not, then some of these contracts is going to hobble us, and we're not going to be able to keep a lot of these people, man. Debo Samuel's contract coming up. I mean,
but do you think one of those quarterbacks will come in year 1 and win a Super Bowl?
I think if Matty Ice came, I think Matty Ice could, and I wouldn't be surprised if Stafford could, only because those guys would not limit our offense, and we have receivers and tight ends. If we can stay healthy, nobody's stopping George Kittle, and we probably could talk Jordan Reed into getting another one, doing another one. I mean, dude, we will be, but in a second year of Brandon Ayuk.
Oh man,
Healthy,
he needs a Stafford.
Healthy Richie James, and then we're probably going to pick up a couple more wide receivers from the draft. We draft well, wide receivers. so all I'm saying is, man, it's like, I don't know, man.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I see one of the somebody down here saying Stafford's injury prone. Yeah, he gets injured, and I think a lot of that has to do because the style of play. I think he throws the ball 40 times a game. He wouldn't have to do that with us, so I don't think he would be in a harm's way. Another person said, this was Jimmy's year. I know he's injured, hell, but I only think it has made his confidence worse. Yeah, it's risky. $27 million for another tryout. Yeah. Yeah. We can't give no more money. But let's talk about another person, man. Let's talk about the best person to me probably on our football team. I do think our best football player on our football team, you're not going to want to hear this, but I believe it is Trent Williams. Trent Williams is so dominant. And I don't know if you really seen, but even on the run, the run blocking, when he's running down the field, he's running just as fast as damn near the running back. And then he's making some of the most athletic blocks that you can make, bro.
Yeah, he's consistently in the second level, consistently there.
I mean, he got whooped maybe a couple times this year, maybe because he got to get used to the calls his first year. But I'm talking about physical play. We really ain't seen him get just dog walk. All I'm saying is this man in front of us, Fred Warner, I think he's the best Mike linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll make top 100, meaning top 10 in 100, but he's definitely going to be in that top 20. I believe this year he'll be in that top 20 because I think he's just that good. His vision, his play recognition, his footwork, his leadership, his will to want to win, his attitude, his confidence. All of those things just make up such a good football player, and I think that he is a player that we're going to have to pay some money. We have to pay a
Well,
lot of
yeah,
money.
he's your prototype linebacker. This is the type of linebacker that you need in today's game. Why? Because this linebacker has the spy on the quarterbacks that are mobile, right?
Hmm.
Like that is kind of the linebackers that you're gonna have to start drafting. The whole big bodybuilding type linebackers. I mean, yeah, those are your run stoppers and stuff like that. But the game has changed. Like you're saying with Fred Warner, the I think his my favorite attribute about him is that he is able to literally play sideline to sideline. You hear
Hmm.
that terminology a lot, and really, it's not when we're talking about guys. It's really not sideline to sideline. They're kind of hash mark to hash mark. This guy is actually from out of bounds on one side to the other side, and his recovery. There's
Hmm.
often times where tight ends may beat him, may beat him off the line, but his recovery, and I like what you just said, his play recognition that goes to how prepared he is. Aaron Rodgers told him last week, "You're the best. We all know you're the best."
Hmm.
He's doing nothing but getting better. And yeah, the 49ers are going to have to pay him, but I think there's room there to negotiate with his linebacker contract. I
Mm.
honestly do. I just think
Bro,
I don't think he's
if
the
he finishes top 20 in the NFL at his position and the best linebacker in the game, we're gonna have to pay him like he's Ray Lewis, man. I'm telling you, he demands that type of money. He makes us go. He makes us compete. I mean, he's covering some great tight ends and receivers in the slot. We got a question down here. Do we think Kiko Alonso starts besides him on Sunday? Nah. You got to remember we got Dre Greenlaw out there, man, and we play a lot of nickel.
yeah.
We play a lot of nickel, so they'll have Williams in the slot too. Because
That's a
that Dunbar was been getting killed. But go ahead, what?
that's a big contract that you just said right there. Do you man, that would be amazing to see if this guy gets paid like that.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think he'll get Ray Lewis money now because he would
Uh-huh.
have to Pro Bowl his first 3 years. I don't. He didn't Pro Bowl last year, and he didn't Pro Bowl the year before that. But this year, he's definitely a Pro Bowler, and he's going to be really damn good. Um,
Yeah.
and I think we have one more year with him on a rookie contract, and that's another reason why we got to get a quarterback ASAP, bro. Because you have to look at these type of players. If you sign Nick and Fred, then
Hmm.
guys that you may lose if they go to Pro Bowls and are just really good, or like Debo Samuel. Um,
Right.
if Debo next year goes to the Pro Bowl, he's really good. He stays healthy. I hate to say it, but the only thing benefiting us right now is that he's not healthy and he's not getting these stats and these yards, so they can pay him something that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But Trent Williams needs his money, and if we sign Jimmy G again, then Trent Williams is another person that is going to have to leave. So we got to be able to shore up these type of players. I'm pretty sure Sherman's going to leave, but I'm pretty impressed with Verrett. I mean, if he can stay healthy like that,
Yeah, that's
I
another guy that's going to get paid.
I like Verrett. But I think Fred Warner deserves every penny and dime he gets. He makes me excited to watch football, even at the end of the game. I know you said flexing. I know you tweeted that. Stop flexing when he. But I think
That's
that's
terrible.
well. Just watching the mic'd up by Aaron Rodgers. The reason why he was doing that is because dude was talking mess to him. The running back was saying, "Look at the score. You need to look at that score." And he was like, "I'm coming every game. I don't care about the score. I'm coming every down. You're gonna see me." And we're getting blown out. And I have respect for that. I got respect for that, bro. It's like I don't care what this score is. Every down, you're going to see Fred Warner. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's something about that, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe
No,
it's
no,
just
it's not
me.
just you. I
But
mean, my thing is this: you can make the tackle, you can come, full speed ahead, and all those things. But if you're down by like 25 points, you really cannot flex. Like flexing is, you flex when you're doing something.
yeah.
Making a tackle is what he's supposed to do.
Hmm.
But that's not just him. It's a bunch of players. Like we've approached a time where a receiver, can catch the ball, literally can just catch the ball, not a first down, just catch the ball. They're going to dance. They're going to make a big spectacle out of catching the ball. Corners make a tackle. They're going to celebrate, let you know they made a tackle. When do people realize you're supposed to make the tackle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're doing your job. My whole thing is I respect what Fred Warner. I respect how he approaches the game. My thing is I'm with the guy scoreboard. Like when I played sports, that was my thing. If I'm beating someone and you're flexing, talking, scoreboard.
See, I play ball, so for me it was like I didn't care what the score is either, man. And you pointed the score, I'm trying to knock your head off because I lost, but I don't take plays off. I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
So I get the flexing, and I think a lot of that has to do with Quan being gone. I think he learned that from Quan. I think Quan was his guy, and that was Quan. Quan used to do that. Like, it didn't matter what the score was, and he just did that. And I think we underestimate that type of guy leaving the locker room. He knows he has to fill in that void. But let me bring up somebody else for you, man. Now, I actually like Arik Armstead, right? I like Arik Armstead, and let me tell you one. I know we debated before the show, and I really want you to tell your feelings. Matter of fact, let's you start with your feelings first.
I like Arik Armstead as a person. Let me start with that. All right. Like, I think he's a Sacktown kid. He always comes back, yada, yada, yada. Now, when we're talking about being on the field, before his contract season, this guy was looking like a bust. I said it. A whole bunch of other people said it. He got into his contract year. He had Nick Bosa, D Ford. He had some guys around him. All of a sudden, he's getting 10 sacks. He went from 2, 3 to 10. And then we're back to where we're at today. And I know he's out of position. And so now I think he's at 1 or 1.5. My whole thing is this. The talent that he has, even if he's out of position, there needs to be more. You're a vet. You have a certain toolbox now where you have moves that you can use to get to the quarterback. Like, that's what I'm looking for in a player that has progressed, that's showing me that they are now worth that type of money. I don't need you to get 10 sacks, but I need you to get a lot more than 1.5. And so that's where I'm at with him. That's where I was at before his contract year. He made me eat my words in, I think, 2019. And now he has the out of position thing. So I guess we'll see what happens going into next season.
Yeah. So this is what it is to me. I believe a conversation was had with him. I think he understands that he's playing a position that he's not. This is not his position. When you had D Ford and Nick Bosa coming off the edge, and you had Buck right next to you that put in work, then I think, he had action. But Kinlaw, he's really good, but you got to understand, we have no DN guys, so they're manning up on the DNs right now. They're not double teaming Nick Bosa. They're not double teaming D Ford, right? So the inside guys will be going crazy if we was healthy.
Yeah,
including Kinlaw. So I will say this. I've played out of position, and it's not cool, but you do it for the sacrifice of the team, and I believe he's doing that right now. When Arik Armstead is off the field at DN, who do we have? Exactly.
Who is out? Hyder's not out there no more?
Hyder starts. Exactly.
We're thin.
So imagine if he did not do it. He's versed enough to play it, but he's not going to be great at it.
You right.
Yeah, somebody said, Dez said Deion Jordan. He put laugh my ass off. Yeah, dog. This is what I'm saying. We're super thin, but we need to understand that he's a valuable piece. And when he can play his natural position, then we can judge him. I like Arik Armstead, and I think he's going to be really good. And I think this year he's doing the best he can for a position. And he has he doesn't have no first step. He's not a natural pass rusher. He's a hole plugger. He's a um, disciplined lane guy, and it is what it is. I just think that we have to give him an opportunity to play his natural position, and then we can go from there. But
Yeah, because he looked good on the inside. I'm not gonna lie, like he looked real 10 sacks. You put right when he got on the inside, he 10 sacks. I mean, it speaks for itself. But right now,
see, and that's what I'm saying. I know you don't like it, but
eh,
I'm just saying, man. Like I'm gonna read you this real quick. Um, so let's judge him by this. Does he have pass rush ability?
yes,
Yeah, he does. What about his run defense? He's pretty good run defensively.
he's gotten better. He's gotten a lot better. I mean, I think he's still. I think he's average. I think he's average at run defense.
I see it different. I think that's his best attribute right there. I think he's really good against the run. And we was 15th last year, but I think a lot of that had to do with they couldn't pass on us all because we was number one. So they had to run the ball late in the game. What about explosiveness though? It's not his thing.
He doesn't have no bull rush. His swim move, I don't even know if he has a swim move.
Exactly. So these are prototypes for defensive ends. His strength, I think he's pretty strong because he's really a defensive tackle. Tackling off the edge. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't see him making plays off the edge. That's not his game. And then intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
What are his intangibles for that position? And this is what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I'm naming these things for defensive end. Mm-hmm. These are defensive ends. That's not even like if I go defensive tackle, let me read to you these defensive tackles, man. Because the defensive ends right there, 60% of that is not Arik Armstead.
Right.
So what about pass rush from inside? He got 10 sacks last year. He definitely has that. Run defense, he has that. Inside the gap explosion, he definitely has that.
That's
inside
where
the
he's
hole,
good.
He's really good at pushing the pocket, right?
Yeah.
Strength, he got strength in the hole. Tackling from inside interior.
He's good.
Inside. Intangibles. Inside intangibles, he's really, really good. And that's
he gets his arms up.
This is what I'm saying, and I think him and Kinlaw together inside is going to be really, really good for us. But we just got to get Nick healthy, and then we got to have a defensive end on the other side that can actually play the game, and then we can actually judge guys like that. But I wanted to talk about Nick Bosa. So we mentioned Nick Bosa a couple times. I want to talk about Nick Bosa. The only reason I want to talk about Nick Bosa is because I believe Nick Bosa, you can really see the impact he was on our team, and now that he's not around, you can really look at our team right now and say, you know what? Even if we got to the playoffs, how many games are we going to win without no pass rush, bro? We really don't have a pass rush. He created a pass rush every play.
Yes, he did.
You had to watch out for Nicky Bosa. So this is what I'm saying. I think he sets us apart. We have a good defense right now, really good defense. But with him, we're a great defense. So that was a huge loss. And even though I didn't like Solomon Thomas played the run really well.
Yep. He plugged.
2 ACL tears set us back. Back injuries.
Mm-hmm. And when you think of Nick Bosa, like, do you remember how this defensive front looked before Nick Bosa? We weren't getting to any quarterbacks. Like, even with Buckner there, we weren't getting to the quarterback, and teams were able just to sit there. Russell Wilson was sitting in the back, throwing the ball whenever. I'm seeing the same thing now this season with Nick Bosa out. I think you pinned it on the head. No quarterback fears this defense. When quarterbacks play us now, they know that it's a semi free for all. And that is the biggest difference from last season. Last season, I think quarterbacks were a lot more timid because there was a pass rush. And so now teams are able to pretty much do whatever they want to do on left or the right side. I think without Nick Bosa, like you said, you're not going to a Super Bowl without Nick Bosa. And I don't care who comes back from injury. Without Nick Bosa there, and without your defensive line having the pieces, there's no way that you're going to be successful. And so you got to get healthy. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to have Nick Bosa around for a long time. So obviously you're gonna have to pay him. And like we were talking about earlier, I think there's not gonna be negotiating. Players are gonna have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna have to actually release, remove, and get rid of players just so you have a shot at keeping Nick Bosa around for a long, long time. I mean, he's everything for the defensive line. It's kind of crazy how we look without him.
I mean, talking about the let's talk about real quick. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the playoffs though. They just expanded it because of the COVID situation. They just expanded the playoffs. So I believe we can probably get in there if we got to at least win 5 of our next 7 games. And if we're healthy, even with even with um even with our quarterback now, I mean, I don't. It's tough, man, because he shows up and plays, and then he just like there's just balls he was just throwing at the other team last week too, man.
Yeah, he's been doing it.
Give me your thoughts on the quarterback, Nick Mullins.
I think Nick Mullins, he's doing what he's been doing. Like Nick Mullins does this. He gets in and he shows you those flashes, and you say, wow, maybe if we are banged up at quarterback, Nick Mullins can be the guy. And then what happens when he's actually called on to be the guy? He's just not fit for it. He is a backup quarterback. I think you said it last week in a tweet. He's only good in garbage time. And so the 49ers do not have a huge chance to go up there and do what happened last season. Nick Mullins is not going to win a shootout with Drew Brees. Nick Mullins, you hope to get the Nick Mullins that just doesn't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need a game manager. I think the defense is going to get gashed. It's just that's the point that we're at in the season. But Nick Mullins, I think that this is good for 49er fans.
You hit it right on the head too. I mean, man,
but it's good though, because do you remember 49er fans wanted this. So many 49er fans wanted Nick Mullins to play, and they're quiet now. They're not saying anything now because they're seeing what it looks like to have your backup quarterback try to take the helm. Not going to work.
He's a backup quarterback, and he's a pretty good backup quarterback. And I tweeted that too, and I was saying there's nothing wrong with that, man. He's just a good backup quarterback. He just comes in and tries to do the best he can, but he's a backup quarterback. We need a star. We need a star.
Superstar, yeah. We need a superstar.
Anything else before we get up out of here, man? I think we hit our key points, man. And anything else you want to say? I know we got another show tomorrow, and that's when we're gonna break down some things. But
no, not much. I just hope that the 49ers don't drop the bag on this one. The draft is packed. You have opportunity to really upgrade your team. The 49ers historically, we never do the big draft. We never do it. We always get the player that's in the middle and we try to make them great. When are we just going to jump out the window and go ahead and get the best quarterback that we can get? I think that's what the 49ers need.
We tried with Alex Smith.
Oh my goodness. And I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that. Because Alex Smith, I like Alex. I was mad. I like Alex Smith.
And I know it's easy to say it now, but I'm from the Bay. So I seen Aaron Rodgers at Cal. He had a little funny delivery then, but I knew his arm strength and his accuracy. I was like, dude, we cannot pass on this Cal Bear, man. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
But we did. And,
You know who I don't like in this draft? Justin Fields. I don't know why. I don't like his release. It's a whine. It's this thing, and that's scaring me because at the next level has to be a lot quicker. I don't know.
Ohio State quarterbacks anyway.
Yeah.
Some about Ohio State quarterbacks is just garbage to me. Dad said we got to put Josh Johnson in Sunday We need that mobility. Our other quarterbacks don't have, and I agree with the mobility. I just
Yeah.
think it's too soon for Josh Johnson. If it's a blowout, let's see what he got. If we're getting our ass whipped, let's just see what he got. I'm done. Put him
Yeah.
in. Put him in.
I mean, it can't hurt the team.
Yeah, man, because we cannot get throttled
Again.
again, man. So thank you for listening. You know, we should post either tomorrow. We want to show. I kind of wanted to go Friday, but we'll probably go tomorrow. Our normal Wednesday shows. And thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, subscribe. If you have any type of information you want to give us, we are the 49er Podcast, 49 Empire Podcast at Gmail. I appreciate you too, Dez, man. I appreciate the comments. And everybody else that follows the podcast, we really appreciate you guys coming on. We're going to expand the show. We're going to do more. And, man, we love it, man. Anything from you, man, before we get about here?
Man, I just want to give a big thank you to the Sacramento 49ers Empire Facebook group that always has our content on there.
Yeah.
Everyone always responding. We thank you so much for paying attention. More content coming your way.
Go Niners. Go Niners, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Peace.